Wait, what the heck does Palantir do? There's a lot of confusion and mystery around what Palantir does. As an investor in any company, you need to understand what their products offer. And so I spent time trawling through countless videos and their website to do just that. In today's video, I'll walk through what Palantir does in simple terms and why I believe it could be something really special. Now, the rumor is Palantir was the company that helped the CIA find and kill Osama bin Laden. Before we start, the reason I'm so curious about Palantir is because I work in the finance and operations team at a tech company, and some of the problems we have are the ones Palantir claims to solve. First up, we get a taste for what Palantir does just by understanding the origins of its name. The company is named after the magical seeing stones from Lord of the Rings, which were used for communication and intelligence. Now, any video you watch about Palantir will mention a few things: the ontology and digital twins. They both kind of mean the same thing. A digital twin is referring to the digital version of your real life version. For Palantir, what they are referring to is the digital version of the key operations of your business. It's a digital replica of how your core business functions, and the ontology is the piece that makes it possible. The ontology is a bunch of objects that represent your business digitally and all the relationships between them. The ontology comes alive and becomes your digital twin when you connect it to the real-time data. Think of it this way. Palantir is like a game of Football Manager, but instead of simulating a game, you're simulating what would happen to your business, and then using that simulation to decide whether to go ahead with the actions in the real world. The difference is now, instead of having to risk your physical business to test a bunch of scenarios, Palantir can use its AI to recommend the best approach and simulate what would happen in the real world. That's a crazy powerful tool to have. On top of that, Palantir provides a feedback loop between the end user and the system. All of the interactions from the end users are captured and then retrain the model. AI development is accelerating. If using ChatGPT is like having the access to the best research assistant in the world, since it's trained on information scraped from the internet, then using Palantir is like having the best operations analyst in the world at your fingertips because it's trained on data in your business. Now, all of this is completely different to any other platform on the market that I've come across. The problem you have at most companies is that you have a ton of data, but what you really want is to turn it into intelligence. Most software being sold is piecemeal, meaning they address one part of your issue. For example, Snowflake is really just a data warehouse application that organizes your data to get it ready for a data visualization tool. You have to buy the tool separately. In the end, what you get is a bunch of applications that are forced together just to reserve your business what you could have done on Excel, but just a little bit more efficiently via a web form. And you can't interact with the data either. Let's pretend you own a solar energy company. You own hundreds of solar farms across the world. How much you make in revenue depends purely on your solar panels working and pointing in the right direction in the sky. Normally, you would have engineers drive out and do manual inspections to see if there's any issues. But with Palantir, you don't need to do that anymore because it can tell you where the issues are and when they might happen before it happens. It saves time, money, and you don't lose revenue because of downtime. Let's listen to Sonadix talk about how they use Palantir.
Sonadix is at the forefront of the renewables revolution.
We're gathering data from across multiple business units, continents, and even the stratosphere. With over 100 solar tracker farms across the globe, often located in remote areas, regular and targeted maintenance can be extremely difficult and complex.
With Foundry, we're able to integrate disparate data sources from the weather, production time series, satellite images, and models, of course, into one single source of truth made of different objects, known as the Foundry ontology. A digital twin of our assets break down the site into different components: the solar trackers, the inverters, and the modules. These allow our different teams to collaborate across a common platform and to capture different decisions and actions at the object level so that we can monitor performance, optimize maintenance, and take actions in real time. Being able to join all our data stream via the ontology allow us to model complex scenarios that previously were inaccessible to us. Once the ontology is defined, increasing the number of individual objects and the data stream associated to those objects is essentially effortless.
Our trackers rotate to match the direction of the sun. At times they can get stuck and they can have component issues, which result in downtime and, of course, as such, underperformance, and in the worst case scenario, severe damages to the components.
Using Palantir's Constellation software, we're able to monitor solar fields 100% remotely with commercial satellite imagery and machine learning models. Those models automatically detect misaligned trackers in need of maintenance. Then, leveraging the digital twin, we can remotely monitor our assets and not only detect underperformance, but also understand what is the root cause of that underperformance and the financial impact associated. The system alerts us when a tracker is misaligned, and so we can take action and send the team directly to the precise location, to the exact tracker on site, and execute maintenance. From the early results of this use case, we're confident we can beat our goal of reducing the revenue losses associated to tracker failures by at least 20%, also to reduce to zero catastrophic mechanical failures due to tracker being stuck in a vertical position under strong wind.
We now have immediate notification when a problem arises, with a solar tracker, for example, which has severely reduced idle time between identification of a problem and resolution via needed repairs. With the ability to monitor our trackers remotely now, we don't need to make long drives out to the fields to conduct maintenance checks. So we are also reducing our carbon footprint, and our teams are responding a lot faster and work in a lot smarter way than they used to do in the past.
The amount of money being saved or generated by these companies is monstrous, like truly monstrous. It's the reason why Palantir can charge so much. And I've never seen any company have an average deal size of over $5 million. And that in itself tells you how much value is being realized by using their products. Now, Palantir has historically been targeting the government sector. And for the last few years, it's turned its attention to the commercial sector. The potential for the commercial sector literally would dwarf its government business. It's early days, but if they can replicate their success in the commercial space, then a $17 billion market cap is going to look like peanuts. Something completely underrated is Palantir's security clearance level IL6 SaaS in the government, because there are only two other companies that have it, Amazon AWS and Microsoft. When you tender for a government contract in the US, they will put criteria such as IL6 SaaS in the tender document itself. That means if you don't have the clearance, you don't even get to the negotiating table. Palantir's products are built for security. Cybersecurity for the commercial sector is one of the fastest growing industries around, and Palantir has it at its core. As more and more companies are hacked for their data, companies will be forced to find the most secure software for their data, and they'll be forced to look at Palantir. What's also interesting is that Palantir also has a Foundry for Builders product. This is specifically for those startups to start building on Palantir software before those companies start piling onto different tools. Now, because these companies have little or no cash, Palantir is instead taking direct equity stakes in them. In a way, it's becoming a fund for the next generation of tech startups. And if Palantir's products work as well as they claim it does, then these companies could be an insanely profitable arm of Palantir. So, I'm in. Palantir takes my second largest position. Let's go.